Good evening everyone from the Sunshine Coast, where day 4 of the Australian Surf Lifesaving Championships for 2016 has come to a completion, and the Masters program has finished up, and we saw some absolute surf legends really performing to the level that we've expected from them over all these years. Kirsty Higginson joins me again. Even a couple of your role models have stood up over the last 2 days.
Yeah, Kirsty Holmes and Christy Ellis put the caps on. They got back into the water, which is so good to see, and they really dominated their age group today, which was unbelievable. I managed to catch up with Kirsty last week, and she said she was looking forward to putting the cap back on, so awesome to see. Definitely big inspirations for me. Yeah,
it's fantastic that there's still opportunities to compete, you know, as they reach the twilight years of their career, I guess, and you know, and still dominating and performing to the level that we've always known to grow and love in these athletes.
Yeah, and it would be hard. It's not an easy thing to come back into the sport when you know you've dominated, you know, previously. So to come back and perform at such a high level is still really good. Yeah, well, speaking of really high level performances, North Burleigh had an absolutely outstanding day here of day 2 of the Masters program. Nick Crilly, well, he led the A team over the B team in the ski teams final. So yeah, that was a really clean performance from them. Yeah, and it also reflected back to the women in the 130 years in the board and ski relay, which was unbelievable. You know, you had your Britt Murray, Ellen Ashford and Sally Hunt, which was really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, North Burleigh had a great day. Huge moment in the Taplin final though. Probably the real show-stopping moment was in the Taplin final for where we had Jimmy Walker. He went into the water 5th on the ski leg and came home like an absolute steam train and overhauled the Byron Bay and the Southport crew. His teammates Scotty Thompson and Greg Clifford, no doubt, pretty happy on shore, and you know, that capped a good day for them.
They also won the ski relay as well. It just shows how much of a strong ski paddler he is, and it has that great kayaking background, so it's so good to see him come back and compete again. Yeah, knocked over our the man we keep talking about, Grant Kenny and the Alexandra Headland Club and that. So Jimmy had a few words to say after that event.
The boys worked so hard just on getting me in a position to be placed. Yep. And I was so proud of what they did. And so, you know, it's a team event, so you have to find a bit more. We've been beaten a few times, just falling in potholes at the finish. And you know, look, Masters is what Masters is, but you know, you get to stay fit, you get to hang out with your mates that you did when you did it serious, and you know, it's great. It's a little bit of icing on the cake, and we love it.
Now, Grant Kenny and Jeff Lamarzi did actually manage to win a gold medal though in the double ski. It was a funny sort of end of the race though, that one.
Yeah, wasn't it ever? You saw Glenelg claiming the race and thinking they'd won it, and the officials, you know, there was a bit of controversy there, so it was really good to see the Alex guys get on top and, you know, win a medal.
Yeah, a bit of confusion. We had the officials had to consult on that. It was about half an hour actually before a result was eventually determined in that one. They also went on and won the male surf team. Some big names there, Russell Cooper and Rick Pallister joining GK for a gold medal there. That Pallister name.
Isn't it a name we've heard over the past few days? They just seem to be dominating the sport, you know. You've got their younger kids, Owen and Lani Pallister, which pretty much did the clean sweep over the junior events, which is unbelievable to see.
Yeah, good to see Dad get the medal though too, you know, in his division. But there's a little bit of vision that our cameraman captured today in the surf team's heat. And I don't know about you, but it reminded me a lot of the famous Coolangatta Gold footage, and there's Grant Kenny just strolling along the beach, and yeah, it was. Someone did actually say it's not Coolangatta Gold, it's Coolangatta Old. I'm not sure if that's fair.
I don't think you really should say that. No, all this footage and all these stories that are now sort of coming up after, you know, having it here on this Maroochydore beach and, you know, underneath the tent, these stories are coming up. It's really good to see and reflecting back on good times.
Yeah, and speaking of legends, there's probably no bigger legend in the Masters division than Paul Lamond, and he's had a great campaign for Terrigal. We caught up with him he could talk about the campaign over the last 2 days that he's had.
I was really happy to win the swim and board yesterday, and to get second in the Ironman. It's the first time I've been beaten in the Ironman for a while, but that's good, you know. It's part of what surf's about, and it's why we do the sport. And full credit to the guy who won it, Greg Cox. It was brilliant, so good on him.
Okay, so as the Masters program now finishes, Kirsty, we obviously move on to the Open Championships. I know there's been so much anticipation about this event. It starts tomorrow, 5 days of what's going to be outstanding racing.
Yeah, like we were saying before, the numbers have increased, so it's really good to get down here, and the vibe has just increased over the week, so it's really good to see the Sunshine Coast all jump in and get behind it.
Yeah, and that vibe started to build today. We had a press conference. It was an open air forum where the public could come along and have a look and see some of the stars of surf sports there, and you know, it was just fantastic to really get the ball rolling on the Open Championships.
Wasn't it ever? And you had the likes of Shannon Eckstein, Kendrick Lewis, Courtney and Georgia Miller there. So it's really good for the kids to come down and meet them, get signed autographs and, get in that community feel so the kids, have something to look forward to and achieve for the future.
Yep, well the Open Championships kicks off tomorrow. We're at Maroochydore, Mooloolaba and Alexandra Headland. There's no excuses for missing out on any of the action. It's going to be fantastic right along this precinct, so get down here and join the conversation on social media, hashtag Aussies 2016. We look forward to keeping you updated over the next 5 days of the Open Championships here at the Australian Surf Lifesaving Championships for 2016.